Hi everyone, I'm gonna do a validation episode on Elizabeth Shelley. I am so sorry that it has come to this, but now the baby can be laid to rest properly. So my condolences go out to the family, and those that love her. So I just wanted to do validation. It's kind of crazy how everything matched up. I wasn't expecting it. I had my location a little off, but I actually think I was closer to him than her. The beginning, I was closer to her. I had the right area, but after the second reading, I kind of came away from it. But I think that it was talking about when we went into the mountains and the more remote areas where he was found or where he went from my source that's anonymous. So here's the validation 12. He had 12 hours. Bear. Little Bear River Charter School is in front of the address, but also they said she was close to here. There's also a high school named Grizzlies. Little, little, Little Logan River is close. There was a reference to river, and there are a few ponds and lakes nearby. 5. Found on the 5th day that she was missing. Funny thing is I was there at I don't even know how you say it, Rendezvous Park, because that word and Black Hawk Down had came in Cheryl back a couple months ago. And there's a Rendezvous Park and a Black Hawk Park right across from each other right there. So I was very drawn to there in that vicinity. While noticing, so those both of those areas are very close because while noticing these parks, I saw Willow and the zoo, and I was drawn that way. I felt a pull there, but after the next reading, for some reason, I left it. Something I need to learn is the pools and what they feel like, and to listen better to it the very beginning. So I feel like the first pulls were towards her, the second pulls were more towards him. Um, so Weeping Willow song that I was humming days before I did this reading. There's Willow Park is close. Also, there's a Willow Street, but Willow Park, I'll talk about that in a minute, is even more validating. There's ranch close by, so that's the horses. 89 highways on the other side, so that's close. Churches, that describes Jesus and angels and harps, but remember things have multiple meanings, so there's something else that could fit. There's also a rainbow street. She showed rainbow colors and rosewood. Roses came through a lot, and also I believe rosebud came through. Coffee shop across the street. There's a coffee cup in Malia. Remember how I said the cases interconnect? Covered up with brush and twigs and leaves. I stated there was a small drainage pipe and that I was seeing a metal round pipe. This is exactly how she was found, covered up and next to this type of pipe. I have pictures of it in the group. She would hear running water from what I was told. I felt that she was naked. Clothes were somewhere. There was a skirt found off of her, which it is. I got blue. It is a blue color. Teal is kind of a bluish tint to it. In vision, it would kind of come across that way. Zoo is right there. Rabbits and a stuffed duck. But also the fair is there too. So you win stuffed animals when you go to the fair, and they do have rabbits. Also, I'm wondering because Ocelot came through if they might have had ocelots there, or it could just be that that's kind of a zoo animal. So that's maybe what she was trying to say. That could be a symbol for it. Remember, things can be symbolic. There's a doggy daycare right there, so the puppy she was petting in close vicinity. There's the M. There's a Martindale Street and also Majestic Park in the area. If you put all the letters together, it's MJIK, which is kind of funny. Reminds me of magic, but could be Majestic, or these letters are separate, or they could fit another case. Horseshoe in Malia, there's a horseshoe park close, also for horse. Hideaway, she was hid away in the way that I described, and that's probably why they didn't find her the first time. I guess they walked over her multiple times. She was in the forest. They stated she was in the forest or in trees or around trees, as it was described. From photos, there's also pictures of that type of area. Looks like there's also some type of purple trees that were outside that were close. There was a reference to yellow and red in other readings, but they're yellow in this reading There was a yellow house close by that kept showing up on the news. R for Randovis Park. Uh, okay, so pool and fair stuff came up in Cheryl. I can't remember. I didn't put everything out for Cheryl. Thinking about redoing a reading, or the last reading for her and putting it up. I just didn't want anybody to know if we were close, but it seems that she's helping with a lot of people. I think that was her personality, so she's bringing up other cases. In that one, and she's bringing up a lot of future stuff. I'm noticing too. It seems to be all cases that are happening that stuff will connect back. So there's lots of fair stuff came up in Cheryl. I remember smelling the fair. So the fairgrounds are close, and so is the aquatic center. I got pool in a private case that I worked on at the same time I was working on this case. Also, pool came up in Cheryl. So that's the interconnection there. One thing I need to learn is, like I said, maybe stick to an area I'm drawn to at first. I kept going back to it, which was Willow and Randovis in this case, or Rendezvous, however you say it. I think Blacksmith's about 15 minutes away, but also near the road that he would take him to the mountains is opposite direction, but still, like if you look up Blacksmith, it will take you to that road. The area I was drawn to is funny is Harem. That's where he would have passed through, where he was seen, but the road where he was found was remote from what I understand and what I was told, windy on the way out there and in the mountains from my understanding. So I was actually seeing and feeling where he was and where he went. Drainage ditch, that would be the water flowing. Golf course is close to there. Also in a private case, I kept saying west. I have screenshots in a group, the Psychic Sleuth podcast. In a private reading, I kept being shown lace. The lady couldn't take it. We didn't understand it. It was at the very beginning of the reading, so it turns out I found out that the skirt did have lace on it. There's a chain link fence in the pictures where they found her, right there. I was also told, like I said, they was actually found an hour away in the mountains. So there's the mountains on a church ranch. There's the word ranch came out in Kenny, but also this time horses and ranch type area. And then church reminds me of Jesus and the angels that she showed. I was told by an anonymous source that park and car were validated. It won't be coming out in the news, but he was at a park and there was a car involved. Number one, she was found 1 block away from home, also at 1 p.m. I think, actually, maybe I felt she was further away because actually he was, so I was focusing it on him. Someone made a picture for Lizzie that has stars. Believe the one that say leave a light on for her, but it's stars in the background, so that reminds me of the night sky she was showing me, so she's aware. There's a Ted's in the vicinity off 89. It's not really close, but things in surrounding area. There were things found in a dumpster, per my source. The knife was found at Willow Park, so that Willow Park is very validating. That song, that humming, very validating. I believe they might have found it around the same time. I'm not sure. But the funny thing was, like, I started humming that before I ever began the reading on this, and I was drawn to their beginning. The knife would also actually maybe fit from Malia, because Malia, I saw a knife with dripping blood, so it could actually fit here because it seemed like Malia. In that case, I was getting future information about Shelley, because Elizabeth Shelley, because the shell, the pink shell she was showing, could be symbolic of her last name. And also she had brought through a doll, and we know Malia doesn't like dolls. So, well, per her mom. So drugs were, but who knows anymore with that. So drugs were involved. He was on drugs, stated. I believe the area he was at, you take 165 or 165 was validated for me. And no, I don't watch the news, so I knew nothing. It's funny because people ask me that all the time because everything seems to be spot on. Not even that they called her Lizzie till someone told me. So Lizzie is also a validation. Honestly, I didn't realize at the time, but she stated sister. So before stating that, I didn't realize at the time, but I realize now that mom is actually his sister. So it is validating that side of the family. But there's still a reference to dad's side for some reason, but she did say sister, so therefore that would be the uncle's sister. And also probably number 5 was mentioned twice. you know, like I say, things can have multiple meanings, especially numbers. So, five surrounding this case as well as ones, a lot of it. Uh, so probably five was mentioned, like I said, because of she was found close to 455. That's what the news said. She also gave the number four, so basically that's the address. 455. She gave it twice. Number six, there's a 600 in the areas across street. And also, I'm thinking the reason the dam kept being mentioned in the flowing water was that the kayaker was found by a dam near Norway as possibly knowing how this works. That's possibly why, because it was happening around the same time I was doing the reading. So the big flowing water, like a waterfall type thing, could also be that she was trying to help. They do help each other on the other side. Like I said, dumpster was validated as far as things being found of hers in the dumpster, but also there was a baby Alexa Rose. There's Rose again. That was found in a dumpster in Bellflower, California. So that's all I can kind of see right now with the case. It's a lot of validation. Basically, everything in the case seemed to hit almost. So I'm sure more will come out, and if it does, please let me know and we can validate it. I love validations because it shows that things are on the right track, things are going in the right direction, my readings are accurate, I'm speaking to spirit. There's things that came out that I had no way of knowing. So she was found exactly as I said she was going to be found. And like I said, I think the reason I was drawn to the harem area was because of him. I guess that's where he was seen at one time, and he was found. He would have to pass through there to go where, through the mountains, the windy roads, all that. So I had both places. So now we know why I was drawn to the Willow area and this area as well. So thank you for liking and subscribing. I do offer private readings. You can message me on Facebook or through the Psychic Sleuth at gmail.com or gentleheartreadings@hotmail.com. Please join the Psychic Sleuth podcast and message me, ask about my specials. I do run them sometimes. So until next time, till next case, you guys take care of yourself, and I'll see you then.